So hello everyone, and this week I'll be doing another short brevity. This would be a match that was played in 1963 by the Grandmaster Wang Jialiang, which I have introduced in the past video, and his opponent this time would be Master Yongkang, a Shanghai Xiangqi expert in his own right. Without further ado, we shall start the match. Red was Grandmaster Wang Jialiang and black was Master Yongkang. Red chose the 7th pawn advancement variation with the pawn rank chariot, and black countered with the left elephant variation. We saw the right elephant variation last week, and this is another commonly played variation that is still seen in competition nowadays. And this would be the opening system that has been defined. Red would use the central cannon and black would use the screen house defense with the left elephant and right rank chariot variation. At this point, there would be three ways to attack. Grandmaster Wang Jialiang chose to advance his central pawn, which was very fashionable to do so back when the match was played in 1963. It was said that Grandmaster Wang was especially fond of this variation. Other commonly played variations for red would be R9 plus 1 for the rank chariot and R2 equals to 3 to attack the horse. We shall examine R2 equals to 3 first. So if R2 equals to 3 were played, a possible line would be both players would choose to trade pawns at the riverbank, and this could lead to many complicated situations. For example, if black chose to attack with p3 plus 1, red would do so also, and both players would have a cross river pawn. But at this point in time, it is considered that red would still be slightly better. This is quite a complicated variation on its own, and for introductory purposes, this line will be enough. So another commonly played variation would be R9 plus 1, whereby red would try to develop his left chariot as a rank chariot early in the game to counter the effects of black's rank chariot. So black would usually continue to attack with a pawn rank cannon, and at this point red could either advance his central pawn forward, or he could play R9 equals to 6. We shall examine a possible line with R5 plus 1, with P5 plus 1. So this would be to defend and prevent the cannon from attacking the pawn. And this would be a rather tangled up situation. Both players would be attacking, and red would still enjoy the first move initiative. So if instead of p5 plus 1, red chose to play r9 equals to 6, this would be what might happen. Black would choose to trade chariots to relieve some pressure off his left flank. And black would still have a very playable game, and this is what is usually seen nowadays in actual tournaments. So this a short recap. This would be the R9 plus 1 variation. Back to the match. Red chose to advance his pawn before developing his chariot or before attacking the horse. So black would continue as planned to use his rank chariot to occupy one of the red files. And in the match, after black played r4 equals to 5 to attack the his pawn rank, Grandmaster Wang decided to place some pressure on Black's pawn rank on Black's pawn rank. So if if Red did not play r8+4 for the pawn rank cannon and chose to, or if Black did not advance his chariot, to Red's pawn rank and chose to attack the Black chariot, which is one of the commonly seen ways of playing this variation, what might happen? And at this point, Red would have a huge advantage. The cross river pawn would become a menace, and if the elephant captured it, the Red chariot could advance and control the pawn rank. There will be many options for Red to attack, and Red would be considered to have a huge advantage. Back to the game. Black decided to advance his chariot across the river to control or to attack Red's pawn rank, and Red countered very aggressively. And at this point, Black chose to attack the pawn to capture the pawn to attack the red horse, but during post-mortem analysis, this move was considered to be the reason why Black lost, and we shall see. With this move, Red will eliminate the possibility of a Black counter attack, because the Black cannon would not be able to attack the bottom rank anymore, and at this point this will be a very important move for Red to make. So after r3+2, Black decided to carry on and capture the red horse, or to accept the sacrifice that Red had given. What would happen if Black tried to move his cannons to the edge file and still attack in the same manner? A possible line would be and Red would now be prepared to attack with h6+5. Black would be in deep trouble, because after h6+5, Red could deliver a checkmate with either an elbow horse attack, as it will be a double check. So although Black had managed to clear almost all of Red's defensive material, the lone elephant was just barely able to protect and prevent the Black chariot from attacking. So this was why c8 equals to 9 to traverse the cannon to the edge file was not ideal. So some commentators have suggested that Black had to capture the red horse or have to accept the sacrifice out of necessity. He was forced by the circumstances of the board. But this would prove that the Grandmaster was simply too strong in his attack later on. So after trading material, Red would attack with h5+7, whereby his attack on the central file very strong, and he will be also attacking the Black chariot. And once the red horse was able to cross the river, Black would be in deep trouble. At this point, Black tried to gain more material with this move, but Red would not have anything of it and chose to apply a skewer to the third file. And Black was forced to retreat his horse, or he would lose material. So at this point, these three red pieces would now be attacking ferociously. And the central cannon again. And at this point, it was suggested that Black might have lasted slightly longer if c2 plus 1 were played. However, we shall see what went on in the match. And red boldly captured the red cannon out of much to black's surprise. And after this move, black's defenses would be cracked open, and it was a very beautiful. It would be black's situation would just simply spiral downhill from here on. So, as this is a brevity, try to see if you can see how red would achieve a superior advantage or unsurmountable advantage that black cannot overcome. Capture, and this is a continuation of the chariot sacrifice. At this point, black cannot capture the red horse, or it will be a smothered cannon checkmate. Check, and red would have gained back some lost material. He would be threatening to capture the black chariot with a discovered check, and black resign. So after capturing the chariot, so at this point red will be threatening to capture the black chariot. The match had already ended here, but let us see what would happen if the match were to be continued. So at this point, black's best defense will be a5 plus 6, check, check, and red would simply capture more material, and black's material superiority would ensure that red will go on to win very easily. That was why black decided to resign. So a quick recap at the match. At this point, everything was still okay, but black decided to be greedy to attack the horse, which was very uncalled for, and this allowed red made the correct counter to prevent the cannon from attacking. And at this point, so early in the match, things began to go downhill for black. Another thing to note about this situation would be, after this would be the 16th ply, what would happen after the red threatened to capture the elephant with this move. In the match, h3 minus 2 was played. So what would happen if black had countered in this manner? Red would simply develop his left chariot, and his attack would be focused on black's right flank. So I hope you have enjoyed this game, and it is one of the games that Grandmaster Wang demonstrated his ferocious attack. And I hope you have enjoyed this short brevity, and I hope to see you soon again.